He's Mike Florio, Pro Football Talk Live co-host. We figured we'd ask Mike to unwrap some things that we had yesterday and last night. Let me start with Aaron Rodgers last night with Kenny Mayne. Big takeaway was?
Well, I think Kenny Mayne did a great job of continuing in a very subtle and understated way to get Aaron Rodgers to say something. I thought he wasn't going to say anything. And then eventually he launches into this monologue about, it's all about the people. It's all about the people, Dan. Didn't you know that professional football is all about the people? It's not about winning games or making money or quickly and immediately throwing overboard one player and bringing in another one whenever it's in the best interest of the team. It's actually about the people. At least that's the way it's always been in Green Bay. It's always about the people. I don't know what world Aaron Rodgers is currently living in, but it's never been about the people. They'll say it's about the people. They'll say football is family because it's good for business to say football is family. But he's adopted this unrealistic, idealistic view of life in Green Bay. And look, I don't think he believes it. I think this is just his way of getting the fans on his side in his ongoing battle with management of the team, which all of a sudden has forgotten that it's all about the people.
Yeah, I wonder what his goal was last night, Mike.
I think plain and simple, Dan, whatever he's got planned for the 2021 season, whether it's holding out, whether it's showing up and being a constant irritant for the front office, whatever it is, he does not want to be reviled the way Brett Farve was. And remember, they wanted Brett Farve out. I firmly believe they went to Brett Farve February of 2008, knowing full well what his answer would be, and said to him, we need to know right now what you're going to do. Are you in or are you out? February, he's out. July, he's in. Too late, Brett. Sorry, we've drafted 7 quarterbacks. We've got Aaron Rodgers. You're gone. And even then, when Brett Farve did what he had to continue his career, the fans hated him because he ended up in Minnesota. I think Rodgers doesn't want to be the subject of that ire, even though it'll be fixed in 4 or 5 years and they'll welcome him back. He doesn't want to go through that. So he's trying to get the fans on his side and against the front office. I really think that's why he said what he said, because we know that football is a cold, hard, ruthless business. It's not about the people. It's about the people as long as the people can help you. The moment they can't, it's about other people, and that's the way it goes. It's a constant revolving door.
Why not just come out and say? He could say all of these things, the fans, the tradition, everything, and then say, but it's about trust, and the front office doesn't have trust in me, and how that went down. And it's best that I move on. They drafted Jordan Love, and I love him, and I hope he gets a chance. He's a good kid. But it feels like, they bet against me. They didn't think I was going to be good, and I'm the MVP, and that's okay. I hate leaving. But you know what? They can move on, and I'll move on, and I hope to see you down the road.
Well, first of all, you can't have a beautiful mystery if you don't contribute to the beautiful mystery by saying vague and ambiguous things. But you touched on something there, Dan. At one point, Rodgers said that he threw a wrench in their plans by winning the MVP. I think he believes that they were going to transition from him to Jordan Love after one season.
Yes.
That Rodgers was on the way down. They saw maybe some signs of slippage in 2019, even though they went 13-3. And look, you don't trade up to get Jordan Love in round 1 unless you got a plan for the guy. You're not saying, what the hell? Well, we got a pretty good team. We don't need to make it any better to get to the next level. Let's just go ahead and waste a couple of draft picks on a first-round prospect at quarterback, and we'll see if he turns into anything. They had a plan, and he believes they delayed their plan, and now he's taking the initiative because they want him on a year-to-year arrangement. They like having the ability after each season to say, do we keep him or do we go with Jordan Love? And I think fundamentally what Rodgers wants or wanted, I don't know what he wants now, but at some point he wanted a commitment that would tie the team to him for multiple years. Because that's the thing, Dan, he's got the right to be pissed off. He's never wavered in his commitment to the team. He's always said, Packers for life, play till I'm 40 or beyond. He's never done the Brett Favre, will I or won't I? And I think he thought that made him immune to this type of treatment, and he's still dealing with it 14 months later.
Mike Florio, Pro Football Talk Live co-host. But then I start to look at trade scenarios. Why go to Denver if Denver has to give up, a couple of first-round picks, maybe a player, a starter on defense? So you're going to go there and live happily ever after? This isn't Peyton Manning going to the Broncos.
Well, the Broncos are a pretty good team if they would have a pretty good quarterback to go along with it. And yeah, if you start giving up future first-round picks, that undermines your ability to get better moving forward. But there is going to be a price to be paid if they trade him. And, I made the argument last week, Dan, that this is the best time for the Packers to trade him. Yeah. I don't think they ever get more for him than they get coming off of an MVP season. Yeah. I don't think they want to trade him. I don't think they want him playing for somebody else. I really don't. I think Mark Murphy, the CEO of the team, his safest path is to take the position with Aaron Rodgers, play for us, play for no one. And if you don't want to play for anyone, fine. We'll take the $30 million back that we already paid you, that you owe us, and we'll buy other players with that. But we'll never have to worry about what you do with another team. We'll never have to worry about, after 2 or 3 years with Denver, you end up with the Vikings or the Lions or the Bears, and then we got to deal with you twice per year. We're never going to look stupid. We're never going to look bad if you just go home and never play again. I really think they'd prefer, number one, he stays for another year. Number two, he never plays for anyone. And then number three, worst case scenario, they trade him to another team.
What do you think happens?
Well, I go back and forth on this. The next big decision point is the mandatory minicamp. He gave up $500,000 by skipping the offseason program. And I know he's got a crap load of money, but you always take another $500,000 if you can get it for showing up and throwing a football around for a couple of weeks. That's good money to turn your nose up at, even if you just give it to charity. It's $500,000 that he's not going to see. Will he show up for a mandatory minicamp next month? I think there's a chance he won't. And just as a way to test the water, see what the reaction is if he doesn't show. And then the question is he going to be there for training camp? But, Dan, he was talking about being down 15 pounds. At some point, you got to get the armor back on your body or you're not going to make it through the season unscathed. There was a year Brett Farve lost like 20 pounds, and he got banged up that year. You got to have some thickness to play quarterback in the NFL, or you're going to get thrown around like a rag doll.
All right, the Julio Jones situation. At least we know that he wants out.
Well, hey, it's a great interview technique to call someone up when you're on the air and they don't know. That's the best way to get to the truth. Now, it may get you in prison depending upon the laws of the jurisdiction where you are when you do it, but well done. Send the Pulitzer to Shannon Sharp for pulling that off. But, they've managed to keep this quiet for months. But, Dan, the Falcons have been trying to trade this guy since really actively the Monday before the draft. 3 different reporters all at the same time put a flag in the ground that the Falcons are willing to trade Julio Jones. That's the team putting it out there. Here's the challenge. They want a second-round pick. How much of his salary do they have to pay when they trade him to get that second-round pick? And what's their priority? Maximizing draft capital or clearing the most cap space possible? The more cap space you clear, the less money you pay out of that $15.3 million. That's the less you're going to get in return for him. And they got to figure out where their sweet spot is. And I've yet to hear of anybody who's seriously interested in him. I think they're waiting for the Falcons to get more realistic in their expectations.
And what they want a first rounder. You're saying maybe second at best?
They want a second rounder. They're saying they want a first rounder because they want a second rounder. And again, you get a second rounder, but you got to pay $7 million of the $15.3 million. That's the thing. How much of that cap space do they want to eat to get the second round pick? Remember, and I'm not saying it will come to this, but there's a cash value for draft picks. The Texans gave the Browns a second round pick to take Brock Osweiler's $16 million guaranteed off the books 4 years ago. And we've seen this with the Panthers when they traded Teddy Bridgewater to the Broncos. They got a 6th round pick and they paid $7 of $10 million to get it. How much of the 15.3 will the Falcons have to pay? That's really the question that I think the Falcons would just as soon not try to answer.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out, could the Packers bring in Julio Jones?
Hey, Dan, I said this last Friday on PFT Live. If you want to mend fences with Aaron Rodgers, you go to him and you say, here's what we're going to do. We're going to restructure your contract. We're going to create some cap space. We're going to have a structure to your deal that forces us to keep you for the next 3 years. Jordan Love's irrelevant. Don't worry about him anymore, even though he said he's not worried about him. It's what he represents that he's worried about. Not an issue. You're not going to get thrown overboard. We're tied to you. And with the extra cap space, oh, and by the way, we're going to restructure Devontae Adams. We free up this money. We're going to go get Julio Jones. We're going all in. 13-3 each of the last 2 years. NFC Championship each of the last 2 years. Julio Jones puts us over the top. Let's do this. let's mend fences. Let's rebuild the bridge. That would be an easy thing to do, but there's no indication the Packers are even thinking about doing it, Dan.
I don't know if this is in your field of expertise being a lawyer, but what happened on Fox Sports 1, where you record somebody in the state of California, that's against the law.
It's two-party state, two-party consent. Some states are one party, some states are two-party. Oh, Dan, I'm well aware. I'm well aware of that. And I don't know if you guys have tried to get the clip from FS1, but apparently they're not giving out the clip. So I suspect there's an appreciation within the building that maybe something happened that shouldn't have happened. All you got to do right out of the gates is say we're on the air. But if you do that, you may not get the answer that you want to the question that you ask.
By the way, have you ordered your Tebow jersey?
I have. I've ordered 5 of them.
Okay.
One for every member of the family, and 2 for me. So if I gain a little weight, it'll still fit. Or if I want to wear a sweater under it or something, it won't be too tight.
See, I think you're being very sarcastic here.
No, I'm serious.
I've ordered a Tebow jersey, Mike.
85 and 15. Although, if you read the fine print when you order the jersey, it won't be shipped until after his number becomes official. See, it's not going to be 85. Once they dump Gardner Minshew, he's going to be in number 15. That's when you get your jersey, just in time for them to cut him.
What happened to Gardner Minshew?
Well, I was a big proponent after the 2019 season of keeping everything in place. Coach, GM, quarterback, let's give this 6th-round guy from Washington State a chance to become whatever it is that we thought he could be. And they won their first game. They beat the Colts, and then the wheels came off after that. So I think they're waiting for a trade offer for Gardner Minshew. And as soon as that happens, they move on, and Tim Tebow's back in number 15 where he belongs, Dan.
What if Aaron Rodgers the Packers want a quarterback in return?
That's not the best possible endorsement of Jordan Love, is it?
No.
If you want a quarterback in return.
Hey, come on in and enjoy Jordan Love waiting to take your job.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Thank you, Mike. Great to talk to you.
Dan.
All right.
See you, pal.
That's Mike Florio.